You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information. The views and opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily represent those of the network, its advertisers, owners, or sponsors.
Hey, what's going on? This is the one and only IT and the D Show. Thank you for clicking play. This is episode 244. We got Brian.
Squared, right?
Yes, it is. Oh my God, it is.
No, 12 times 12 was 144. I made the same mistake.
Plus 100.
Plus
Boo! We got Brian James in the house.
We were told there would be no math.
We got Brian James in the house. He's the author of the book Mjolnir. It is a take on the Norse and Thor mythology, non-Marvel. Should be a very cool read. Great story. We had fun in the green room. Should be a great interview. And then segment 3, Nuri's back from Peru.
And his arm's tired.
We're gonna talk about the monkey
My
run.
balls are tired. Actually. We'll talk about that later.
One of the weirdest trips I've ever heard of. But wow, did we have fun following you? And I can't wait to hear the stories.
You know, it's going to be a bunch of great stories when he started off tonight with, okay, here's what I can't talk about on the air.
Dave, you may fire when ready.
You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Following program is intended for mature audiences.
I'm Wyatt, that's Gary, you're Bob, and you're Dave. This is the IT and the D Show.
This is Max Headroom. And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
This is Billy D. Williams. Bob and Dave and I are enjoying a Colt 45 right now. And remember, IT in the D, it works every time.
Just where do you guys think you are? The Library of Congress? Detroit? Beyond the sun? Any of those, right?
Take him to Detroit.
No, not Detroit. No, please. Anything but that. No.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come. Shut up.
Hi, this is Christy Swanson, and you're listening to the IT in the D Show. And Bob and Dave touch my hoo-hoos.
What happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bumhole?
Exactly. Come on. Tries. What the hell with this? I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the show.
This is Guilfoyle from Silicon Valley, and the only two guys I hate more than Dinesh are Bob and Dave. Suck it, guys.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to IT and the D Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Hi, this is Kelly LeBrock from Weird Science. So, Bob and Dave, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
Are we at a break yet?
Hey, everybody, this is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. You're listening to IT and the D. And if you want to get your money's worth, stay right here. And remember, everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to IT and the D. All you nerds out there.
Nerds.
Nerds!
What is a nerd? I'm a nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
Hey, Detroit, this is Anthony Michael Hall. You're listening to my buddies Bob and Dave on IT in the D.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Pump Pump. The IT and the D Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
Hey, what up? This is Jay Muse, and you're listening to the IT and D Show. Snooch to the nooch. Listen, Muse, Snoogans.
Hey, everybody, this is Tony Todd. What's happening? You may know me from Candyman, The Rock, Sushi Girl, Zoom, Night of the Living Dead. A lot of pop culture media madness. Anyway, you're listening to IT in the D Show. Business.
I'm totally into Dave, but not so much Bob.
This is Robert Hayes, a Ted Stryker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo bar, I'm listening to the IT and the D Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Hi, this is David Kay, the voice of Megatron from Beast Wars. Excellent, yes.
And of course, Clank from Ratchet and Clank.
And Grandpa Max from the new Ben 10. Yes, Professor Xavier from X-Men Evolution. Storm! Logan, where is Storm? Storm! Come here, Storm. Sit on my lap, Storm. Yes. You're listening to IT and the D. Don't go away.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the IT and the D Show. Tough guy. Oh!
Hi, this is Bruce Pritchard. You're listening to, what the hell, the IT and the D Show?
What kind of name is that? But just in case you were wondering, I do love you.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do, the question is what aren't we going to do?
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
What is up? Thanks for listening. You have reached the one and only IT in the D Show. This is episode 244, broadcasting live here in Studio One in Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. Whee! This is Bob the Sales Guy. That was Dave the Geek. Nuri the FNG is back from Peru and is alive to tell the tale. Randy, I do the Twitters Walker, is in studio. Find us online, itinthed.com, and do us a favor. Give us a like on the socials. Subscribe to us everywhere. Fine podcasts are sold.
Hey, and tonight, IT in the D is brought to you by Udemy, the largest marketplace for online learning. Whether you want to learn something new or just sharpen your skills, Udemy has an extensive library of over 65,000 courses taught by expert instructors. Ever find yourself thinking, I wish I could do that? Well, with Udemy, you can. From web development to digital marketing to Japanese cooking courses, Udemy has something for everyone. While other online learning companies charge hundreds of dollars per class, Udemy courses start at just $11.99. That's like 2 coffees.
Dollars?
Yeah, $11.
Not yen.
No.
Oh.
Not even $12.
Wow.
No. So, hey, plus each course comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee for risk-free learning. Every day, students around the world choose Udemy to discover new passions, expand their skills, and even change careers. So here's what you're going to do. Improve your life through learning. Download the Udemy app to learn anytime, anywhere, or visit www.ude.my/IT today. That's www.ude.my/IT.
I'm just picturing like the Japanese cooking courses. It's just like a screenshot of like the cup of soup microwave instructions.
I'm guessing old episodes of Iron Chef.
Could be. So, I mean, it's pretty much sushi that you don't really cook it, and then there's udon noodles, and it's pretty much a microwave broth. And anyway, it's delicious. Don't get me wrong, but
you don't know how to do it.
I'm not even going to hop into this one because my broth takes like 4 hours to make. So.
Oh.
And
I just
his
put in
broth brings all the boys to the yard.
I just put in the little flavor packet. Yeah. Hey, do us a favor. Mark your calendars. Hit the meet tab on our site. May 1st, May 10th, May 1st, we're down in Ann Arbor for a casual meetup with our Ann Arbor folks. And yeah, go figure. And then May 10th, we're having a podcaster meetup. So yeah, Mark, go to our meetup site and hit RSVP.
May the 4th. What's up on May the 4th?
Oh, we're getting there.
You missed it. PenguinCon was last week.
But PingoCon is every week.
Right.
That's right, until it happens. That's the rule. But no, and don't forget this Saturday, we're going to be at the Warren Big Brew Fest over at Hamlet Park. This is kind of our first thing as being associated with a brewery. So it's kind of cool.
Dozens of breweries come out? Is it?
There are 9 because
awesome.
it's the Warren Big Brew Fest. So there are 9 breweries that are going to be there.
Warren breweries?
Yep.
Or?
And they're some in St. Clair Shores.
Yeah.
They're like Warren adjacent.
Awesome.
But like there's 9 breweries. There's 2 musical acts. There's
the cool thing they did, Nuri, is they gave, hey, here's the hop you use. Here's the malt you use.
To all the breweries.
In any variants. It's called Same Difference. So each brewery did their take on what these ingredients were.
Dude, that's brilliant.
You weren't here. You missed the belt.
No, I missed it. Because I've been to bigger beer fests like the one they do in Ipsy every year.
Yep.
And it's basically like all the Michigan breweries. And basically just a giant melee of...
And this is a smaller version of that, for sure, yeah.
But like having breweries showcase what they can do with the same ingredients is like, that's where people really shine.
And then there's a belt.
Sauce.
And the fans vote on which one's the best. Dude, and then then the winner gets
this weekend.
A belt. Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday,
all day. It ends at 6, though. It's not a night thing.
Is it 6 or 7?
6.
Okay.
I prefer most of my drinking during the day anyway.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's couches in the field.
Well, and there's a cornhole tournament. There's a petting zoo. They've got I don't know.
Alpacas.
I think is it Coonan or Dragon Mead that's bringing out root beer that they've brewed.
Coonan, I believe.
I think it's Coonan.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it should be a good time. And then then the following weekend, mayhem begins. It is the official start of our descent into cirrhosis. and Insanity. PenguinCon is May the 4th be with you, and then Revenge of the 5th.
And I appreciate last year, I think we did 2 or 3 panels. This year we're doing like all of them.
Yeah, we're doing 7 on Saturday. I don't know.
How'd you all get suckered into that?
Well, we volunteered for some of them, and then at least one of them someone signed me up for.
Which one was that?
The interviewing for Tech Tech Interview Simplified.
Totally.
Yeah, that's the last one Saturday night.
I'm also doing a Flirting for Geeks panel that I'm looking for people to be on.
Oh, so
we've been on it already twice.
Scott told us we were apparently invited not to re-enroll because we hadn't heard about it.
Shit.
Because, I mean, Scott said he was on it, and we were like, well, we used to do that one. Nuri didn't want us on his panel anymore. Fine.
I just screwed up and didn't get the names in, so we'll talk.
Yeah. But yeah, and then, of course...
Nothing better than to teach a panel on flirting for geeks than a guy that's been with the same woman for 22 years.
Because that stopped you from flirting?
Right.
Like,
I
don't
flirt.
You're a sales guy. What are you even doing on that panel?
Sell.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think flirting is?
Exactly.
It's fun.
And then, so that's Friday and Saturday. We got our 80s parties, both Friday and Saturday night. And then 2 weeks after that is kind of the Super Bowl for nerds. It's Motor City, at least here in the area. It's Motor City Comic Con. We'll be there with our booth set up.
We just have a booth. Let's just be honest. We just have a booth
to get access
to get in the back door, not to stand in line.
Oh, yeah, you get in the back door, and then we're approved as media. We have press passes,
so we get drops again.
Backstage passes.
We have press passes. All's good. And then the weekend after that is the Cherry Capital one up in Traverse City. So we'll see how that goes. That's a first time.
Mommy, make it stop.
When do we get the private plane to fly back and forth from these things?
The chopper. We need the chopper.
I know a guy that owns Oakland Air. I can ask.
So yeah, no, a lot of cons. So please, and a lot of events. And as Bob mentioned, the podcaster meetup is that second Thursday in May over at Selena's, the little sports bar up the street that we spend far too much time and money at. So yeah, come check us out, have a blast. And then our event last weekend, the IT and the D social over at Falling Down was cool. We had a really great turnout, and people were loving the giant Jenga and giant Connect 4 and all that, and the beer, of course.
Right.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So yeah, with the events that need to stop, but you know what else needs to stop?
Facebook and what they just did on my phone.
Oh yeah.
Can we talk about that for a
creepy.
second?
It's Creepo City.
So someone else here that's hosting a show. Some of you probably know her, Casey. She's one of the, the artists that does a lot of the Comic Cons and that kind of stuff and writers. We were yakking because, she said, oh my God, I almost called you today because I got completely locked out of my Facebook account. She's like, and I couldn't remember the email because she had to reformat her phone or reset her phone. Had to re-download the Facebook app. Didn't remember what email address she used. Didn't remember what password she used. And she finally remembered. Well, so we sit there and have a good conversation about this for about 10 minutes. Well, shit you not. So then I come back here in the studio, and I go, I'll check in and let everybody know we're here and getting ready to go live. Very top of my Facebook stream, and I haven't seen in this. I don't know that I've ever seen this ever before. Is, hey, did you know that, a friend can help you get into your account if you're locked out of it? Facebook wants to help keep you secure. And
we
safe.
Absolutely do not listen to our users.
Right. Yeah. Senator. Yeah. So yeah, that's amazing. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Indeed. You know what else needs to stop?
Shoot.
The Yelp. We love to hate Yelp. Yelp's introducing a new product for businesses.
Oh God!
Called Yelp Wi-Fi.
Ooh.
Right. And what they want to do?
Shouldn't it be called Yelp Wine-Fi?
I don't know what they need to stop. Basically, what they do is
worst Wi-Fi connection ever.
So you go to Starbucks and you get on the Wi-Fi and life is good and you just go to Starbucks and get the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Well, this one, you can tailor the splash page to get things like birthdays and emails and phone numbers. So then your customers get the free Wi-Fi, and then you can tailor messages to them to have them return as customers.
Would you give up your phone number and email address?
No, it's 555-1212.
No, I wouldn't either.
1170,
And I'm an 87-year-old grandmother living in the Netherlands, and
yeah, and my email's always poop@poop.com.
Or you're a traveler, like in Peru. A lot of times, my friends got on Wi-Fi because the restaurant had it, and they gave you the password.
Yeah.
Right? But think of all that valuable data you're missing when you're just giving out a password. I hate this.
I feel like we don't. I feel like we don't say this enough. Screw you, Yelp. Seriously. With a chainsaw.
This looks bad.
This could be a start of a trend, though. Like, Yelp
no
will be
one's
the first to do it. There will be others following.
Because usually what this was for with the splash page was to adhere to terms and conditions, and I understand that.
Oh, yeah.
If they're doing to absolve the restaurant,
hotels, a lot of places do it.
Not doing dark web or weird
in
crap.
Some foreign countries, they tie your Wi-Fi to your personal ID.
Yep.
And I get that too, but just for marketing purposes?
Is this mandatory to connect to the venue's Wi-Fi, or can you bypass it? Be like, no,
well,
thanks.
apparently no.
No, it's mandatory.
No, it's mandatory. You put poop@poop.com.
Well, but what are you going to do if then they email you the access code or they want to text you the access code?
That far, do you think?
Well, but here's the thing. How often are you in an area now that doesn't have more than one access point available to you?
You get next door, you get Xfinity.
Right.
If you're a Comcast customer, everywhere.
Yeah. And here's where they're bullshit, and I'm calling them out right now. Liar, pants you, Yelp. Yelp Wi-Fi customers visit up to 80% more frequently. No, they don't.
Because I can get on your shitty Wi-Fi.
Feces of the male bovine is what that is.
Can you please call them out, Randy, on Twitters, and just tell them they're full of bovine feces?
Do you want me to see if the Detroit Yelp people will come on the show?
Totally. No, I do not want them on the show.
That's a real nice person.
I was going to say, we've had them on the show before, and she has somebody else now, too, because she's kind of stepped back a little bit.
She's kind of great.
So we've been talking a long time about like this whole, like how technology's changing and the AI and facial recognition and all this stuff.
And it's not creepy at all.
And there's a couple of scary stories this week about that.
Well, I don't know if it's good or if it's scary because like, okay, China's using it with the police department en masse. Like it's fully blown technology, and they detained a suspect from a crowd of over 60,000 people at a festival.
They picked out one dude in a crowd of 60,000 people.
Yep.
Who was wanted for financial crimes or something silly like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, economic crimes, listed as a fugitive. He was shocked and basically stared at the cops with a blank face like, how'd you find me? And just the thought of, I mean, we're in Minority Report right now. We think we're not.
Well, you know how facial recognition used to be. I remember in the club district I used to hang out as a kid, they installed it. It was so bad they never had a single hit.
Yep.
Like Saddam Hussein could have stood there in the middle of Ybor City with his fingers in the air, and they wouldn't have found him.
Right.
But now,
London started getting more and more advanced with this because of the hooligans and soccer matches and like people they were trying to ban and that kind of stuff. And honestly, who really has this down is casinos.
I've heard that casinos are bad too. That I heard from a casino employee who said it quite often identifies people as cars. Like
really,
they have not updated it. The technology is garbage.
That's funny because maybe it's just the one casino. I was talking to an IT manager at one. Yeah. All
So
right.
the guy that got caught. This is the best quote I've read in years. If I knew, I wouldn't have gone to the concert. Was his parting quote?
If I knew I was going to get arrested, I
because
wouldn't
they
have
said
gone
he
to the
drove
concert.
90 kilometers to attend the concert, and he figured he was fine being in this mass crowd of people,
60,000 people.
Security by obscurity, basically, right?
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Nice. So
there's another one though, real quick about that New Delhi turned on a system as well this week.
Yeah,
and they were able to find 3,000 missing children in 4 days.
Wow.
So this technology is baked. It's here. It's
How did they get facial? What a kid looks like?
Missing kids databases.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus
3,000
Christ!
in 4 days.
I read that and I didn't think it was. There's no way that's real. Like, what do they do? Just grab where's the kid? Like some sweatshop, and then they basically rip him out there and give him back to the parents?
I don't know.
Bizarre. Like, seriously, that was the most bizarre thing I've read in years.
So I got it. So we were talking about like AI and all that fun stuff. Did you watch Westworld?
Yes.
By any chance last
Weird.
night? Man. Because we've had a number, we've talked a number of times about, all the new advances that are going on with the sex bots, and the real dolls and all that crap. Man, if Westworld does not send just a chill down your spine thinking about anything like that and what the eventual outcome will be.
There was that weird scene right in the middle where Bernard was, I'm not going to give away any secrets, but he asked a question. And she's like, no, Bernard, we're not talking about that.
Yep.
That's when it got really weird.
The whole episode was bizarre, like weird. It took a weird turn.
Are they doing the weird 2 different time frames thing again this season? I can't tell for sure.
Yeah, they're still bouncing.
I know some of the creators said at the end of last season that this season was going to be basically why the park.
Yep.
So I think we're going to get a lot of really weird kind of, and then the trailers for later episodes.
Dude, we're going to get into the Asian world. We're going to get into, yes, please.
And you know what came back? I had no idea 2 weeks ago, Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
I had no idea. They didn't.
Really?
Usually Comcast is good about like the bar, like the promoting.
Right.
All of a sudden I go, wait, Silicon Valley, and I go season 4, and I go look at the date, and I go, it's April. I go, wait, this is April, and I'm like,
wait, when is that now?
Yeah,
when will that be now?
So I missed 3 episodes, and it's phenomenal. It's so well written. That show's by far that, and It's Always Sunny are the 2 best written shows I think I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah, they're sitting on the TiVo. I haven't watched them yet.
Oh, they're great.
I had to wait for Westworld. That's one of the few shows that I will make a point to watch when it's on.
They're integrating AI into Pied Piper, and Guilfoyle is having no part of it. So he's adamant about having sent an email that he's okay with it. So when our robot overlords take over, because his theory is if I'm nice to them, that they won't kill me. Like seriously, it's phenomenally
nice.
done. Yeah, what's up with Detroit and Lyft?
Apparently the tipping rates.
We are the best tippers in the country.
Yeah.
When it comes to Lyft riding,
which is kind of cool.
I think that's kind of awesome.
I actually switched to Lyft from Uber because Lyft allowed me to tip in the app.
Yep. Yeah, same.
I can do it on Uber.
Well
now
they released it
way
after the fact.
Oh,
they say that drivers actually make a ton of money in tips. They said, what is it, $100 million in tips or something crazy, and that drivers are 30% more likely to get a tip during commuting times, during weekend brunch hours, and on the weekends.
Well, no, it's true. I mean, because like I always said, like I would use Lyft more, but like there are none out in my area. I always said that, like, because I would look at them first, and then I would have to call an Uber. Suddenly, there are a lot of Lyft drivers out floating around on the east side, which good. I mean, maybe that, and I think that and you see a lot more dual branded, where they've got both the Uber and the Lyft thing in their front window. So I think more and more Uber drivers are shifting over to Lyft.
I've always found that the drivers in Lyft are a better quality person to chat with and to like be around. And
for the most part, I'd agree with that.
I'd say like 80%.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've had some very cool Uber drivers, but yeah, no, I've never had a bad Lyft experience at all.
Well, the Uber drivers don't speak English anymore. They've
become a bunch of pissed off taxi drivers.
Yeah,
basically.
it's totally
yeah, who are mad that Uber exists and yet they're driving for them.
And then they bitch about the whole time about this ride.
These rates are terrible.
Yeah.
Then don't do it.
Lyft is also a title sponsor for Detroit City FC, so the names will be on the jersey. They've got an official Lyft drop-off spot at Keyworth Stadium, and Lyft riders who arrive at the stadium early get $1 off their drinks at the stadium.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Wait, I thought the India story with the kids was the weirdest one. No.
But wait, there's more?
Yeah, but wait, there's more. So this was...
how much would you pay?
I thought this was The Onion. Then I thought this was like a fake news site.
Okay.
This is written by the Associated Press, published by Time Magazine.
Okay.
Right? That police in Florida
was amazing.
Went to a funeral home to grab the dead guy's hand to unlock his phone.
Yeah.
Legal or not legal?
No, they said it's absolutely. They said it might not be ethical, but it's absolutely legal.
Just imagine you're the guy working at the funeral home. It's like, hello, officers. How can I help you today? It's like that body and that fridge.
No. They went to the funeral.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
and sidled up to the coffin. And tried to play it off like they were just. Oh yeah.
And the fiance was there.
Oh my god.
Basically, the 2 detectives held the man's hands up to the phone, fingerprint sensor, but could not unlock it. They said legal experts agree what they did was legal, but they questioned whether it was appropriate. Yeah, no shit. He goes, dead people can't assert their Fourth Amendment protections because you can't own property when you're dead.
Well, and they said, but the one wild card with that is that technically that property then passes to his next of kin.
Executive.
Whoever, so technically somebody else owned that phone at that point. I mean, it's a really weird thing. I mean, it's still shitty. I mean, that's
not classy at all.
No, that's creepy as hell.
Well, the guy was killed by cops, which makes it even.
Well, because that's the thing. He was involved in a shootout with police, and they were trying to gather evidence from his phone that they say would have vindicated the cops.
Well, and this is one of the bad ones where he tried to drive away and it shot him in the back.
Yeah,
he was 30 years old.
Yeah. They wanted the stuff off his phone, and that's
Again, when you think all is well in the world, and you read crap like that,
it's a real thing.
Hey, I kind of want to give shout outs. I've known these guys for 20 years and I'm super happy for them. The guys from Secure 24, Matthias and Volker.
Yep.
I remember those guys back in when I was working in the data center and back in 99. They'd come in. There was 3 of them working for the company and they built up this amazing 800 person company and they just sold to NTT, Nippon Telephone.
Yeah, well, completed the sale. NTT completed the acquisition because we talked about it when it first broke, I want to say, 6-8 months ago.
Yeah.
That the process was starting.
I know they took private equity and built this thing up, but yeah, there's some people that have been there that whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Wensler, shout out, been there for 18 years-ish. But no, I couldn't be happier for that whole group.
NTT's a huge company too, right? They own
a Japanese AT&T.
Well, they own Dimension Data, which is one of the largest consulting companies in the world. And then they've got their phone company. They're huge.
They're one of the biggest companies in the world.
Sounds like a really good play, especially if you're going to push that through consulting arm.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Well, what we're finding is some of these behemoth companies. There's another local Detroit company called Vialpoint that got bought by Konica Minolta's IT arm
company.
Yeah, but they own
the camera company that became a camera copier company that's now a camera copier security company.
Well, they own a company called All Covered, which is basically their IT services group.
All right,
and they bought this company to basically run their security group.
Wow.
So you're finding these smaller companies, these niche companies, especially that are specialized in stuff like security, getting bought by these giants that can't figure it out where these companies have. So yeah, it's just fun. It's fun to watch, especially with I like to see this stuff with guys that grew this stuff from nothing.
Yeah, it is awesome. Hey, but Bob, when's the last time you updated the firmware on your router?
You got to update firmware on your router.
Wait, hold on. You should change the password too.
So you are in the 86% of people who have never.
You're talking just
that's so high.
Updated the firmware.
You're talking just like the Comcast box they give you and they plug in.
You don't have a router outside that?
No. Well, yeah.
Yes, you do.
Oh, yeah, I totally
yes, you do.
You have your Eero though.
Yeah.
So that updates it automatically for you.
Eero updates automatic.
Yeah.
I log into my Eero all the time.
Okay.
So yeah, firmware's updated.
Okay. But yes, they said basically nobody knows anything about router security. Like they plug them in, they turn them on.
Netgear 1.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I mean, I had
admin.
I had a beefy Cisco box for years up there.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They all remote.
Said 31% of users have never changed their Wi-Fi network password, and only 30% have logged into their admin panel to see what devices are connected. That's crazy.
We talked about that with the Facebook crap. Like, you expect my dad to check his privacy settings on Facebook. Like, you expect my dad to
I'm sorry, is your dad setting up a router? No. You're setting up the router for your dad, so you should know better.
Right, but
you should do it right.
But I'm not updating the firmware. Hey, Dad, on Thanksgiving, did you update your firmware, Pop? I'll go do it.
That's part of the rules, Pop.
That's not. I'm lucky I remembered to bring the ham.
What about the all-in-one modem router things that you get from the ISP though?
I think those
self-update over the
Yeah. So if Amazon releases a robot for your house, you guys gonna buy it?
No.
We say that now. And
Did we not just have the Westworld conversation?
Did
we not?
On a side note, did you hear how people are creeped out because it catches a different phrase? It's when you say Alexa laugh.
Yeah.
Like if you speak, I forget what the phrase is.
No, it's there's a couple of them, but it said if it sounds like Alexa laugh to the Alexa,
it'll just start laughing.
But here's where I declare
it won't
shenanigans.
Say anything.
But here's where I declare shenanigans. There are enough stories floating around where people are like, dude, it was 3:00 in the morning and nobody was saying anything because I live alone and nobody said anything in my house that sounded anything like Alexa laugh.
Didn't we talk about this already?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, because they came out and they said, yeah, we know why it's happening, and so they're changing the phrase.
Yeah, because the fart still works. I tested that one out last weekend. But no, honestly, the robot thing, if that can bring you things, especially if it can bring you a beer on the couch.
Happy birthday, Polly.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was a Rocky IV reference for those not in our little circle.
But it's Amazon though. It's basically going to follow you around and try to sell you shit. Like, what is it? What would an Amazon robot do?
It's got Alexa. It's going to have Alexa built in.
Okay.
So it's going to
exist. So you can order things easier from Amazon.
It's pretty much going to play Clash and Van Morrison all day, and then fart when I tell it to.
Alexa bot, play this song.
Yeah, exactly. And then if it's bring me a beer, like if it can bring me, like literally, if it can bring me a beer.
And you'd buy that.
He won't give up his phone number for a Wi-Fi password, but he'll give up basically the keys to his house if it'll bring him a beer.
As long as it doesn't look like one of those Boston Scientific dogs. With like all I can imagine is a sentry gun on top of that thing, and I'm like, no, there's so much nope going on. The robot, I don't know. I'd have to see because I mean, Roomba, like, if it can sweep the floor and bring beer, yeah, I think I'm in.
Hi, Bob. It looks like you're going to bed. Is that right?
Would you like me to tuck you in, Bob?
That was another thing with Silicon Valley that was hysterical. The guy built a robot with his AI, but he was super creepy. So basically, he was like, so the buddy, she goes, I can tell your emotional distress right now, and he started listing off all the things.
Oh God!
And it's just like, yeah, nope, so much nope.
Yeah, no, yeah. Your blood pressure seems elevated, Bob.
Yeah, exactly. That's all the time, lady. Hey, speaking of blood pressure, we're going to be right back with Brian James, the author of Mjolnir. Should be a fun conversation. Stay tuned. This is the IT in the D Show.
And we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hey, this is John Snyder from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, Hot in Cleveland, Secret Lives of the American Teenager, and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. It's the IT in the D show.
ITinthed.com.
Welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us. This is the IT in the D Show, episode 244, segment 2, broadcasting live here in Studio 1 in Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. Bob the Sales Guy, Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG, Randy, I do the Twitter's Walker. Find us online, itinthed.com, where you will find all the things.
All the things. You know why? Because we are IT in the D.
We are?
We are.
Stop. We are?
You still are not.
Ah, poor Skippy. We're so sad for you. We know we love us still. But hey, this segment's brought to you by our friends at Proper Cloth. Finding a dress shirt that fits is nearly impossible. True story. Something is always off, be it the collar or the sleeves. True story.
I'm not gonna lie. So I just went through this today. Like I told you, so I've got John's communion.
Yeah.
First communion is this Sunday. So I just went through the whole rigmarole of all right, I'll get a new shirt, I'll get a new tie, whatever. It's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yep. So thankfully, ordering a custom fit shirt's never been easier with Proper Cloth. At propercloth.com, you can easily create a custom shirt size in seconds by answering 10 simple questions. Choose from 20 collar styles, 10 cuff styles, 500 fabric styles from classic to business to casual to completely customize your shirt and get the style that you want.
That seems like a lot of options.
They keep it simple too. There's like 15. Like, hey, here's our top 15.
Cool.
You want to move forward with this? And that's what I did. The team at Proper Cloth works with the best fabric producers from around the world and only buy fabrics that meet their high quality expectations. Each one of their shirts goes through extensive quality control testing, so you're getting the absolute best quality and craftsmanship. And they guarantee a perfect fit, meaning if your shirt does not fit perfectly, they'll remake it for free. The whole process is risk-free.
Sweet.
This is the future of shirts. I got my shirt in 2 weeks. Perfect.
Yeah, I was going to say, you just went through this.
Yeah, these shirts are made completely custom for you, starting at $80. Stop wearing shirts that don't fit.
Which, again, I just went through this today.
They're like
that's not expensive.
Then, hey, if you do us a favor and go to propercloth.com/IT today, enter gift code IT and you save $20 on your first shirt. That's propercloth.com/IT and get a shirt. Seriously, I just got mine today. It was sitting on the porch and it looks like.
So you're looking at $60 for that's
custom fit shirt.
Nice.
They ask you your suit coat, your waist, how tall you are, your inseam, it's your neck. It was it was quick. It wasn't like they're asking anything crazy.
So again, you won't give up your phone number for a Wi-Fi password.
No.
But you will give all of your vital dimensions for a shirt.
What's dimensions? What are you going to do with my dimensions? Except
Why
make
do you
me
need my social security number for a shirt size?
They make me a shirt. They don't call me. See, that's why I like them. But hey, we're joined by Brian James. We find out the reason why he reached out. He's a fellow geek, fellow Star Trek, fellow Star Wars nerd, fellow Comic-Con nerd, and he's written a book called Mjolnir. Did I pronounce that right?
Pretty close.
All right, because it's Mjolnir.
It's Mjolnir?
That's it. See, the Norse had a bad habit of putting consonants where consonants never belonged. It's like a war against vowels.
And it was kind of like first names are plural, like Matt's Sundin.
Yeah.
Right. Like, wait, I thought you were Matt.
No, just
There's
Matt.
two of you?
Yeah.
Right.
Wait, you have a brother?
Yeah.
What?
No. But so this is kind of an odd, like when you first said to me, it's like, hey, this is kind of like my take on Norse mythology with Thor in it. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Doesn't Marvel own that?
Well, I don't know that Marvel can own
Thor.
Norse mythology.
Well, you don't know these days, especially with Disney.
Who would they have bought the rights for Norse mythology?
I don't know.
from?
It just that's the first thing I thought of.
Okay.
I know I'm stupid. Tell me I'm stupid.
You're not stupid. They do not own it. You can't own characters from a myth. It's like trying to own Zeus.
Yeah.
The closest you could find for the Norse myths is maybe find a distant relative of Snorri Sturluson and buy the rights from him, but
yeah,
that's about their public domain.
Okay. No, like I said, once you get to that point, I wasn't sure how, because especially with Thor, it's like, all the movies that are out now. And
yeah.
I didn't know how much they took off of it versus,
And the Thor that the Marvel Universe floats out there is so different from the one that's in the myths. They may as well be two completely different characters.
Well, I just got done binge watching Troy, and it was a take on the movie. But it was completely different on how they interpreted that myth compared to this. So that segues into what, how did you interpret? What's your take on what Thor would be like in 2018? Is that's when it's set, right?
It's set in 2018. Thor has basically
is an Uber driver.
Yeah, right. No,
close.
A Lyft driver.
Oh, yeah, a Lyft driver. Yeah.
Uber's kind of the MySpace of the driving world,
right?
Now. But Thor has become an atheist. In the later myths, his wife is never mentioned.
Wait, so a Norse God has stopped believing in God.
Yep. His wife, he had a wife named
Go on.
Sif. He had a wife named Sif. She is never mentioned in the later myths. The assumption that you can make is she is dead. So I took that assumption. If a goddess can die, are they really gods?
Right.
So he has given up his divinity, but he still demands worship. So he plays professional football.
So he's Dan Gilbert.
Exactly.
He went the Tom Brady route.
Yeah.
So that's where we started off here. Thor is a professional football player.
That's cheating.
It kind of is.
How does he it's kind of like Flash playing football, and it's like he tries to run just fast enough to not know that you're
to
Flash.
Just outpace
right?
everyone.
Right.
Yeah, he's not trying that.
Right. He's just bowling over everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like what was it? Who was it in Tecmo Bowl?
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson. Oh, look, he's running around the field. Oh, he's running around the field.
Yep.
Oh, he's running around the field. Oh, he's still running around
I'll
the field.
verse you, no Bo Jackson. Like that was the rule.
Now we do this right at the beginning of Ragnarok. And Odin is also on Earth. He dies in Ragnarok. That's the prophecy says he dies, he's eaten by a wolf. Specifically Fenrir. He does not want to die. Most of us don't.
Well, yeah.
So he has gone the route of he is the founder and CEO of a defense contracting firm.
Okay. Blackwater. Okay.
Loving it. Loki owns an Amway-style company.
The trickster would be a multi-level marketer. Gotcha.
Yep. And sells cheap products on QVC.
Amazing.
Reading in the book, you could make the argument that it might be Amway, but
yeah.
I'd almost rather see this movie than Ragnarok. I'm just saying.
Freya, the goddess of love, and this got me to. I've gotten some criticism on this, but I try and keep the characters like they were in the myths.
Right.
She is a prostitute. She's a adult actress, but that's what she was in the myths.
Right.
Her first act of prostitution was, "I'll sleep with 3 dwarves for a necklace."
Everyone has their price.
It's a tall order.
Some short work.
Go ahead, Randy.
What sort of necklace?
Oh, I get that.
Made from pearls, maybe?
I was going to say I was going to
Randy.
Oh, God.
Saw that coming a mile away. Sympathy
that deserves
ding.
the bell.
So very, and honestly, like I'm insanely intrigued now. Like, as I really got into Piers Anthony did the Incarnations of Immortality series, where love, fate, death, war, God, and the devil were all people that inherited those roles. And so it was the very human side of the Incarnations of Immortality, which, I mean, and this kind of sounds a little similar, where it's just coming from the other side.
Right. Now I've never not read a lot of Piers Anthony. In fact, I can't think of any that I've read. I was a Douglas Adams guy.
Read those too.
In fact, my worst review is a 1-star that says the problem is if you like Douglas Adams, you will like this. I'm not quite sure how.
And that's a flaw.
Don't see how that's a flaw.
Okay.
But as I said, this is at the beginning of Ragnarok. And Thor, as part of giving up his divinity, has also given up the hammer. The hammer is character unto itself.
Okay.
In the myths, anyone can lift the hammer. Thor has his hammer stolen at one point and has to cross-dress to get it back. I'm going to kind of go with the Marvel Comics route here and say, okay, the hammer has decided that only Thor can lift it after he's killed so many people, so many creatures with it. Because it's special, it absorbs a little bit of the soul of whatever it kills.
Makes sense.
After a while, it's now become slightly self-aware, almost like a pet. It only likes Thor. So Thor is the only one who can lift it. Loki and Odin are trying to get their hands on it. Thor doesn't care.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Right. So it's a race for them to figure out not only where it is, but how to get it and how to control it.
Okay. Interesting.
Is that so that's the central crux, just trying to get the hammer away?
Correct. That's why it's called Mjolnir.
Okay. All right.
It's like us every con weekend. Everybody's trying to get hammered.
That too, yeah.
And you're trying to give hammers away.
Right.
So how did you get started in mythology? Like what brought you to writing this book?
Oh, I've been reading mythology since I was in grade school. I went to college to be Indiana Jones. I wanted to be an archaeologist.
Awesome.
There's really not the main jobs there's not too many help wanted, need Indiana Jones.
Right. But those hats sure are cool though.
And the whip.
And the whip. Used right.
Yeah.
Pair of cuffs with it. But so I've always had an interest in myths, and I've always wanted to know what these characters would be doing afterwards, because they don't die for the most part.
Right.
So what are they going to be doing? They'd still be kicking around right now.
Yeah, eventually the stories just stop getting told, and
and they just disappear or absorbed by other cultures or appropriated by other religions.
Right.
Which happens in myths all the time. Half the Norse gods are from other mythos. Just started doodling around with it one day, and it became a book.
You know, I think what's so interesting for me is these Norse gods have they're such large characters. They're huge. They have egos, and then trying to put those kind of people into a modern world. How do you adjust from going to a time when you had a massive ego, many people worshipped you, and now you're basically...
Well, I mean, apparently one of them, I'm assuming, winds up in the White House.
Bob sits there looking very unhappy.
Actually, this is the only thing I'll say on that topic. We do kill America's first orange president on page 1.
We're on page 1.
Page 1.
Well, I've already bought the book on Amazon. I'm sitting here on my Amazon confirmation page saying that I bought it.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, actually, it does, not page 1. I've got something before the preface, which is your Reader's Digest introduction to Norse myth.
Smart.
Because it's something so many people don't know about.
Right.
So this gives you, for about 12 pages, this is everything you need to know about Norse myth in this little short part.
Because that was going to be my next question was, I don't know a whole lot about Norse mythology except from what Marvel has shown me, which is patently wrong.
Yes.
I'll still be able to enjoy the book.
Oh yeah. But Marvel has shown you. Marvel's movies are enjoyable. They are fun. These are not the Norse gods. Comparing this Thor, the one that's in mythology, to the Helmsworth Thor, or MCU's Thor,
right,
is like comparing a snow leopard with one of those creepy hairless cats. And Marvel's got the hairless cat.
Nice.
But it sounds like those are words that can be used to describe your book as well, right? Enjoyable and fun, but you stay true to the Norse legends.
As much as I can.
That's awesome.
And they are big characters, and they stay big characters, and there are some failures in here.
So, sorry, go ahead.
I said Freya is a failure. She is a aging goddess who is now looking at a world where the women are just as attractive as she is, and she has to compete with them at cheap strip clubs.
So it seems that urban fantasy is becoming a fairly popular genre these days. We have the American Gods series on Stars. What are your influences? Have you read other urban fantasy?
Oh, yeah. I read American Gods.
Okay.
Like I said, a lot of Douglas Adams, a lot of comic books. Anyone who's going to be doing who's going to get into urban fantasy has got to go to Neil Gaiman. That's kind of the authority on it.
Checking out your Amazon reviews, I mean, it's solid 4 stars. I mean, it's pretty legit. I mean, usually people are pretty particular, especially about something kind of like this that's domain. But I mean, everybody 5-star, 4-star, 4-star, 4-star.
Just good to know people are still reading.
I have a lot of relatives.
No, it is. I was looking for the 1 stars because I wanted to read it in a stupid voice like we do for another podcast. Oh,
is this your first book or
the first one?
Is this your first?
Yeah,
awesome. And do you plan a second? Do you plan a follow up?
Actually, I've got another book that I'm working on. I'm hoping to have it out by Halloween. It's not part of this. It's about the Roman incursion into the real life Roman incursion into Denmark that happened about 138 BC. And so it's going to be Romans versus messed up gods versus zombies.
Nice.
Wow. Oh, I want to see that movie.
My only fear would be, do you remember that stupid, what was the Pride and Prejudice versus zombies or something dumb, or Abraham Lincoln Vampire Killer?
Well, wasn't 300? They were basically like zombies anyway. Just that's what it seemed like that would.
The Immortals?
Yeah. Right. That was still one of the best. I don't care what anybody says. That's one of the best done movies like ever done.
The original Clash of the Titans are nothing.
All right.
Harry Hamlin and Bubo. Get out.
That's on Turner's Classic Movies in about 2 weeks.
Nice. Still have the DVD. Still watch it every time it comes on.
Guy brought in a Kraken into Comic Book Men in the box. I'm like, how did that slip by me as a young lad that they had, Calibus and Perseus and all the figures and the Kraken. I'm like, how did I not own that as a child? I would have whined my way into having that into my car.
And there's a place you can go to buy all this stuff still.
Yeah, it's called eBay, right?
Well, there's a site I go to called Monsters in Motion.
Really?
Yeah. It's got all. I don't know if anyone here's a model builder, but they have the old Aurora models.
Really?
You'll find it. Yeah.
Nuri just buys them for the glue.
Much better way.
No, we buy this stuff now. It's not it's almost out of spite. Like if your mom said she couldn't afford it, or if your kid brother broke it, or if your buddy stole it. And now it's just like, I'm buying it.
It's mine. I got it.
Right.
Shut up.
You can't have it. We're all still 8 years old in some weird way.
Damn it, that's what the midlife crisis is for.
Yeah.
It's reality.
So, hey, if we want to find your book, it's on Amazon. You just look up Brian James Mjolnir.
Or I just looked it up. So it's Mjolnir. It's Mjolnir book.
I'll never be able to pronounce it.
It's Mjolnir.
Mule.
Just go back to watch the first Thor movie and enjoy Kat Denning trying to say it.
Aha.
I'm sorry. You can say every bizarre ass beer name known to mankind, and you can't say Mjolnir.
Yeah, no.
I know speak German, and you can't say Mjolnir.
No, it's not no comprehend.
So yeah, it's Mjolnir book. I pulled it right up, ordered it. Life's good. Yeah, nice and easy to find, dude. I can't wait to.
Sounds like a fun story. I'm really excited to read it.
Well, I hope you enjoy it.
See, what they should have done is Thor is an American football player and then gets caught in a rocket ship from a crazy doctor, gets hurled into a black hole into space, and then saves a planet.
And then it's Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
That's a Netflix
with
series.
Thor. Yeah, you've been greenlit.
Exactly. It's calling Netflix. We greenlight anything.
Brian, appreciate the time. You're more than welcome to hang out.
So do you have a website or anything we should send people to?
On norsehammer.com.
Okay.
How'd you get
cool
that?
domain name.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I was shocked it was available.
Right? You get it in like 96?
No.
Right.
Last July.
And
Wow.
it has the first 3 chapters of the book on it, too. So if you want to get a good start into it before you buy the book, here's where you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Very cool.
Well, hey, we're all looking forward to reading your stuff. You should go to PenguinCon and bring it, actually. That would be a great outlet for you.
Go to where?
To PenguinCon next week. We'll talk more offline.
Okay.
But hey, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Nuri talking about his trip to Peru. I can't wait to hear these stories. This is the IT and the D Show.
And we'll be right back.
IT and the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT and the D Show.
ITinthed.com.
The City of Warren presents Warren's Big Brew Festival, Saturday, April 28th, featuring 9 Macomb County breweries, plus a special home brewers contest. There's something for everyone in the family with live bands, food trucks, and a petting zoo. If you love competition, try your luck and enter the Cornhole Tournament. The $5 admission charge is all it takes to get you into Warren's Big Brew Festival, Saturday, April 28th, from noon to 7 p.m. at Halmish Park.
Please. Welcome back. Thanks for spending time with us. This is the IT and the D Show, episode 244, segment 3. Bob the Sales Guy, hanging out with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG, Randy. I do the Twitter's Walker. We're hanging out in Studio One here in Podcast Detroit, beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. Find us online, itandthed.com, where you will find all the things, and especially follow us on Twitter, because Randy's given all the links and all the stuff we talked about.
Yeah.
So you can follow us digitally as well as audibly.
And again, all our meetups are there. All the conferences we're going to be at are there. All the things, all the podcaster meetups, all the
make it all stop,
dude. It's that time.
Yeah, show business.
Thunderdome.
If you've been following the show for the last 3 weeks or so, we've been missing our big toe, Mr. Nuri.
Aww,
and
big toe.
Nuri's last name is Hulka.
Yeah, Sergeant Hulka, Uncle Hulka. But I've been having an absolute blast following you on Facebook. For those not in the know, you went to Peru and did a thing called Monkey Run.
Yeah, it's called the Monkey Run. It's was started by a company called The Adventurists, and they're these cheeky British bastards who basically put together the most ridiculous trips using improper equipment in the most hostile of places, basically to save the world. That's kind of their mission statement.
Okay.
So all of their trips benefit a company called Cool Earth, and basically their entire mission at Cool Earth is to stop the destruction of the rainforest. And that was something that I saw while I was in Peru riding a tiny motorcycle around, was that you'd be seeing just pristine rainforest and all of a sudden a palm forest. It's like, wait a second, palm trees don't grow like that indigenously.
Right.
Palm oil. So basically the locals are knocking down the rainforest, putting up palm trees for palm oil for export, or palm sugar, or palm byproducts, right? So that's basically what Cool Earth is there for. Now they have several different trips.
Isn't that okay?
Well, I was just
trees?
saying, are the locals doing it, or is it external companies and organizations that are doing it?
Well, this charity works directly with the locals. And so there are other ways to make money using the land. There are better ways to do it. Deforestation for palm or for wherever is not the right way to do it. So, but this company has many trips, and the one that I was on was called a Monkey Run. It's based on a Honda motorcycle called a Monkey. It's 90 cc's, which basically is the power of your lawnmower,
right?
On a bicycle frame built for children. Now, this bike was originally built as an amusement park thing for children. Honda used it to acculturate kids into wanting to buy motorcycles as adults. So it's a tiny bike. It's 350 pounds. The gas tank is about a gallon. And the top speed that I had the bike up on perfect pavement going downhill was about 75 or 80 kilometers an hour. Okay. So that's what 45
about
to 50 miles an hour for all our Canadian friends, right? So not a very fast bike.
And I'm assuming you have to carry gas with you if it's only a gallon.
It gets pretty decent mileage. Our total trip was about 880 kilometers, or about 500 and change miles.
Right.
And the gas stations in Peru are very interesting. So if you're going through a city, there may be a gas station. But if you're going through a pueblo or a small village, it's literally some dude with a couple of drums of gasoline in his house that he basically pours it out of garden watering containers. So this is a 1 liter gardening can that I'm going to pour in, and he will pour 1 liter at a time into your tank. That's kind of the gas stations that we So yeah, we landed.
That's 4 liters a gallon, so I can imagine how time consuming.
It was each gas station. There were 7 people in my immediate party, so each gas was probably 15 to 20 minutes.
I was going to say, so that's, it's a time investment.
It's a time investment. It runs regular gasoline too. But the bikes were actually not the real Honda monkeys. They were cheap Chinese knockoffs called SkyTeam.
Okay.
Delta would be very mad if they heard about these SkyTeam motorcycles that barely work. We had a breakdown every single day, at least one. Chains, we had to get our timing and valves redone. There was a bush mechanic in a tiny little Andes mountain town, 22 years old, and he eyeballed the 32 1,000th of an inch for the valve timing. He's like, está bien. Closed it back up. The bike fired right up. I'm like, holy shit, this guy just eyeballed 32 1,000th of an inch.
Wow.
I had we had accidents because the Peruvian roads are terrible. So we had bikes that we ended up throwing in the back.
No, like terrible, like compared to say Mound and 14.
Terrible compared to Mound and 14, right? So some of Peru's roads are absolutely beautiful. We were on some perfect pavement several times, but it's a very mountainous country. Lots of temperature variations,
right?
Like Michigan. A lot of the roads are single track dirt roads.
Already then.
So there was one pass we did that was about 16,000 feet of elevation. Road was dirt with potholes. It started snowing on us.
Oh, God.
The clouds descended on us. We were in the clouds, and then it got dark.
Amazing.
On either side of this single track dirt road, thousands of feet of drop to your death. No guardrails, no curve signs, no nothing. Just death.
So I'm assuming you were not going 70 odd kilometers per hour.
I was doing about 15 or 20 kilometers an hour about that time. And then it got dark. People wouldn't stop and help us because, during the day, let me preface this by saying that Peruvian people were some of the most hospitable, warm, friendly, amazing people I've ever met. Like when times were good, they were curious and happy. When times were hard, they wanted to help. But at night in this mountain pass, no one was stopping. That made me think, oh shit, maybe this is an area where
what are we up for? Yeah.
Where people get robbed out here or things like that. Then my asshole really puckered. Then we drove 3 more freaking hours in those conditions to get to a town that had a place to sleep in.
Wow.
We started the trip off in a town called Ayacucho, which is this beautiful mountain town with like a history of like a lot of the Incan people started in Ayacucho. They gave us a day of motorcycle kind of acclimation.
Right.
Drove around, played soccer on a motorcycle, which was ridiculous as it sounds.
Okay.
And then they basically, basic mechanics. Here's how you change your air filter.
Pat you on the butt. Good luck, kid.
That's it. There's no map. There's no suggested hotels. There's no suggested routes. They're basically like, all right, so here you are at Ayacucho.
Is that the charm of it, or is that just what it is?
The adventure.
Okay,
all right. Like you have to be in Atalaya, which is this jungle city 500 miles away, and you have 7 days to get there. Otherwise, we'll start charging you extra for the bikes. That's the trip.
Wow.
So everything that I needed to survive was on my back.
So you have GPS, right?
We had a Garmin GPS and Google Maps.
Okay.
I love you, Google Maps, in most countries, but in Peru, eat a dick.
Really?
Because it was so bad because these roads.
How the hell are you supposed to get a Google car up in the mountains?
Exactly. But they still draw the road in some places.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, satellites and
Like that line is straight on the map, but there's 42 switchbacks we've taken.
Right.
And the kilometers are wrong, obviously, because they're doing that wrong. So we get off, and our first night we stay in a town called Mayak. Small city, maybe 20 buildings or so. Had a guy selling gas out of his things. Right?
Yeah.
We stayed on top of a bodega, a grocery store, and that night they parked all of our bikes inside the bodega and locked the doors.
Okay.
I proceeded to accidentally lock my room key in the room. They didn't
see, what would happen if your bike got stolen?
We'd have to figure it out. There's
You
no
ain't-
support line.
I
You
was saying,
can't
you ain't
call like.
and you're not
1-800
doubling up on a bike.
No,
Not that small.
Nor can you call 1-800 the Adventurists and pray that they help you out. Right. This is like you are totally on.
So it's
your
not like
own.
Naked and Afraid where you're just medic and they're like run out after you. You know.
No, it's like more just naked and just afraid.
Right.
So we stayed there. The next day, I started having my falls because the roads fell apart. Lots of loose gravel, river stones. That was one of the first days we started going up in the mountains, saw the beautiful mountains that had been cut with the different soils, and so they have the different colors.
Right.
Kind of like our pictured rocks kind of thing. And those are beautiful. We kept climbing. We had our really bad experience up in the hills. We found a city with some pavement. We slept in that night and had pizza. We were on their Facebook page now because none of these people in any of these pueblos have ever seen white people before. Like I'd ask, I'm like, have you seen gringos in your town before? And they're like, no, never. Nothing except on TV. Like tourists don't go to these places. People fly to Peru and they go have ayahuasca in the jungle.
Right.
Or they go to Cusco or Lima.
No, they go to the lake too.
And Lake Titicaca. Bob's favorite. I did not take a pee in Lake Titicaca. We ate most nights for about $3 a person US.
Wow.
Most beds we stayed in were about $4 a person US.
Well, so I guess good question. So like currency exchange, like how much, because I mean, you said you ran into a bad situation. Like how much cash/currency were you carrying with you on this trip?
I was carrying way more than I should have. I was carrying about $1,000 US currency, which is 3,000 Peruvian soles.
Okay.
And so
Hear that, bandits? Haha, you missed out.
And then I was carrying it down inside my water filtration stuff because I took full water filtration kits. I had all my camping gear. I had my clothes. I had motorcycle parts. I had an additional tire because what happens if you pop an 8-inch tire in the middle of Peru?
Right.
Are they going to find an 8-inch tire for you
Yeah.
made in China? No, hell no, they're not.
No.
So you had about $3,000 Peruvian money. I had my oil changed. It was 2 soles. To less than $1 US.
So
to
yeah,
have my oil
66
changed.
cents, yeah.
Yeah, my bike. The valve job, the timing cost 30 soles. And when he changed the valves, his wife came out with a bowl of fresh cheese that she'd made out of cow's milk, like queso fresco.
I was going to make a joke that it was her own milk.
Bob.
Shut up, Bob.
And bread that she had baked. And so we sat there and munched, and the 22-year-old kid put on Linkin Park and fixed our
Hilarious.
timing. Like, it was just the hospitality was amazing.
Did you break the news to him about Chester Bennington from Linkin Park?
He knew.
Okay,
he knew. I said it was sad. All my Spanish came back. Like I had 2 years of Spanish in high school 15 years ago.
Right.
All of it came back, and I was my official translator. I was having meaningful conversations with folks. The food was interesting. A lot of villages, it was. What I would call usually like less fortunate people food, like you're eating rice, eggs, little bits of meat. So some nights our dinner was a couple of fried eggs over a bowl of rice. One day we got pulled into a little stand in a market and the lady's like, come on, sit down for breakfast. And it was a guinea pig skull.
What?
The cuy is the name of
Cuy, yeah.
Guinea pig is super big food in Peru. Yeah. It was not a whole lot of meat. It was kind of creepy seeing the 2 little teeth pointing out at you, right? So I'm like, queso. And she's like, cuy. I'm like, oh shit, guys, we're eating guinea pig.
It's smiling at me.
And I thought we were the guinea pigs.
In one town, I'm pretty sure we ate dog. There was some kind of animal carcass curing when we parked our motorcycles in there. And it was not a cow. It wasn't any, and one of my guys is like, guys, I'm pretty sure that's dog. I'm like, what's on the menu for tonight? And they're like, carne. I'm like, yes, that is a generic term for meat.
Yeah.
It's not lomo. It's not pollo. It's carne. So, and dog is pretty tasty. Guinea pig is also pretty tasty. Didn't get food poisoning at all. Like surprisingly, until after I got home,
So what do you get? Water?
Bottled water.
So you could pick it up and carry it around.
So
Seems
we
like
were
a lot to
carrying
carry
around 4 bottles of water at any given time. We fashioned these little.
Well, yeah, you said you had a filtration system.
I had a filtration system for ultimate emergencies.
Like one of those Bill Gates straws?
No, not a life straw. It was a Sawyer water filter with 2 silicone bags. So you press on one side and clean water comes out the other side. But we didn't have to filter anywhere. We were just drinking bottled water. Bottled water was 2 soles in most towns.
Oh,
so
geez.
very cheap. We carried 4 at any given time. We didn't have to camp, which was kind of sad. But there were some of the mattresses I slept on. The springs fell apart immediately when you laid down on them. One guy found blood on his mattress. So we put down our sleeping pads on
yeah.
top of the mattress. One of the rooms I slept in had black mold, kind of just gently falling from the.
Oh, that's amazing.
So interesting places. It was a trip of a lifetime. Like I still dream about the crazy experiences I had out there. The pastoral and the high pastoral, like basically, you're already at 12,000 feet, but then there's just these beautiful rolling hills with cows and sheep. And
how many people do this a year?
There were 40 total people on this trip from all over the world. Lots of people from the UK, some Aussies, and the rest there was a girl on the trip from Royal Oak. Who was not a part of our group. Serious. And she had never been on a motorcycle before, just like me. And she finished the race, incredibly.
What was she doing down there?
One of her college buddies. She is an organizational psychologist at a firm here in town.
Okay.
One of her college alums threw it out there and said, "Hey, I'm doing this thing. Who wants to go with me?" And she's like, "That sounds cool." I'm like, girl, you have the largest lady cojones.
That's awesome.
And she kicked ass in the entire trip. Like it was great. I didn't feel unsafe at any time until the very end. I'm
surprised that they don't have a front back tour guide or like someone to, you know what I mean? Like someone in the front, someone on the way back.
They're big into old school adventuring. Like this is one of several adventures. They have one where they drop you off in the southern tip of India and they give you a tuk-tuk. One of those little 3-person, 5 horsepower taxis, and you drive the entire length of India in 3 weeks. They have one where they drop you off in Mongolia and you have to break wild horses as your method of transport across Mongolia.
Oh,
they have one where they strap.
Yeah, so there's a lot of nope going on.
They strap a fan to your back and hydrofoiling?
Yeah.
Across Africa. Like these guys are just insane in their adventures. And it's old school adventuring. It's unscripted. It's real. It's really close to the people and you get a really freaking good idea of what the country's like, what the metal is, and your own metal. Like I cried for joy. I cried for exhaustion. I cried for pain. I ditched my bike probably 20 times in the last.
So yeah, you said you had a couple jacked up ribs.
Yeah, I've got bruised ribs. My knees look like Swiss cheese. My leather jacket is torn. Like I had a really hard time that last day. And that's when I was feeling unsafe. Like nowhere else did I feel unsafe. But that last day was the hardest day. And we left a town called Porto Ocopa. And there were 2 ways of getting there, or 3 ways. We took one way that basically went right through coca fields. So all the villages we went through were processing cocaine, making paste out of it. So we could see the equipment for it. We're like, guys, we should probably not stop in these villages. Let's just keep on going.
Right.
Then there was a pavement way that we didn't realize that was there. And then you could go by boat. You could actually follow the Tambo River right up and they would drop you off. And that's cheating in our opinion. We didn't want to. There were a couple of people who took it because of mechanical problems. Like if your bike was jacked, you had to do it. But this last section of road was 150 kilometers, mud. And mud and motorcycles is like, you might as well be on an ice skating on a motorcycle. And then where there wasn't mud, there were massive inclines at like 45 degrees with either mud pits left by large trucks, river rocks, which are also terrible for motorcycle tires. And that was basically the piste. That was the ground we were on. So I ditched my bike. I said probably 20 times that day. There were several places where we had river crossings that this river just ran across the road. So we had to carry our bikes for one. We tried fording the river. I tipped my wagon, ditching all my shit into the river, ditching myself in the river. So my boots are soaked. I'm all soaked. I'm miserable. But the part that was the scariest is that I was, the last 40 or 50 kilometers, it's native Peruvians. It's not, they don't speak Spanish. They speak native tribal tongues.
Right.
They have no electricity, no motor cars, no phones.
Not a single luxury.
Exactly. Like Robinson Crusoe. They lived in thatched huts and they farmed their land. And that was basically their entire way of being. And they don't like they don't like the Peruvian government. They don't like the Spanish speaking Peruvians. They feel like their land was invaded.
Right.
And so there's a lot of back and forth between those people. So I went through them and they waved at me and they tried to call me in and I'm like, this is a trap.
It's a trap.
I thought that in my head, swear to God. So I kept going. I was the first in the group that day. They stopped other members of my group. My buddy Kyle got held at gunpoint by one of the people from the tribes. They searched all of his bags and demanded money at gunpoint.
So they're very, so they simple life, thatch huts, farm their lands, but they have guns.
Hate outsiders.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Now you guys weren't allowed to bring.
No, well,
I don't know.
No way. Like, I think we had a couple of knives and maybe a machete between our group, but when you have a gun pointed at you, you brought the wrong utensil for the job.
Yeah.
Right.
They stopped another part of our group and said, "What makes you think you can come through our land?" And the guy was playing dumb. He's like, "No sé, no entiendo, no entiendo. I don't understand." And they let him go eventually out of frustration. In a different group other than ours, they actually took the people at gunpoint in a boat across a river to a chief to inspect their documents and demand money. Like, that was the only unsafe from a people perspective of the entire trip. I mean, there were tons of stupid shit and stupid roads and times we could have died from, like, we had a guy tear open his arm on some rocks in the jungle. You could see fat in his arm, basically. Had to be jungle stitched by a buddy of mine and then taken for 3 hours. He had to ride his bike for 3 more hours to get to a hospital to get actual stitches. Another guy slid under a truck because the truck was coming around the corner, didn't blow his horn like he should have, ended up back brake, front brake, slide under the truck, like just narrowly averting disaster. But, you know, for all the crazy that happened, the things that I've seen, and not in the bad way, not like things I've seen, man, but like, I come over a hill and there's this glacier running down into a glacial lake to a waterfall that just plunges off the side of the earth. Like, the beauty I saw in Peru was more than anything I've ever seen in my entire life. Peru is a glorious country full of amazing, hospitable people, warm, love,
except that
friendly,
last 50 kilometers.
Right. Except that last little bit. And the natural beauty of Peru is not surpassed by anything I've ever put my eyes on in my life.
Wow. Very cool.
We were at the river crossing where I ditched my shit, and there were butterflies. Like, you've all been to a butterfly garden, right? And seen a couple species of butterfly. There were thousands of butterflies just down by this river, and they were all in little clumps of different colors and different sizes. There were probably 20 or 30 species of butterflies by the thousands down by this river crossing, and I just sat there in awe. Looking at the
when's the last time you've seen one in normal life here? Like, it's
you get occasional monarch floats by,
very
right?
rarely.
Yeah, just like vibrant colors, neon blues, like patterns, like trippy patterns, bright reds and oranges, and it was just the craziest thing. Like,
that's awesome, man.
I would have to think really hard about doing this trip again because of just how difficult it was.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
But it was easily the most impactful and incredible vacation I've ever been on. And
that's very cool.
This is Peru's my 36th country, and this is the trip I've enjoyed the most.
That's awesome, man.
Great group of guys. Cool. We all made it home safely. We've got tons of pictures. They'll be on my Facebook in the next couple of days, man. And Peru, I got a special place in my heart for it. So
very cool. Well, good to have you back.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks
Glad
for sharing that. That was cool. Yeah, we had fun following you. And that stuff's crazy.
It's
better,
stupid.
Better you than me, man. I'll live vicariously through you.
I'm going to do that. They do one in Romania. Same thing. You're on a small bike, and I think they're trying to get permits to start at Chernobyl wearing hazmat suits. So you basically, yes, that's their next plan from what I hear. This may be privileged, sorry. But they get on your bike in Chernobyl and will run through Romania and end at the Black Sea, maybe?
It would be, yeah.
Like, yeah, so that's the one I think I want to do next is Romania, or maybe even the tuk through India. I love India and
Teenage Mutant Ninja Rabbits and shit. No thanks, man.
Dude,
I saw Chernobyl Diaries. No thanks.
No, I'm good. No.
But you could get superpowers.
You could also lose all your hair and develop boils.
That's a risk I'm willing to take.
Toxic Avenger did good things.
True.
Hey, we're going to wrap things up for episode 244 of the IT and the D Show. I'd like to thank Brian James for sharing his stories on his book, Mjolnir.
There you go.
Was that right?
Well done.
Wow. I did it. And then I also like to thank our sponsors, Udemy and Proper Cloth. Thank you for keeping the lights on. On behalf of Bob and Dave and Nuri and Randy, do us all a favor. Drink up your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Drive careful. Beat it.
Hasta luego.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life?
to crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of your women.
Long live Flash. You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy.
Make the run. The run.
Game over, man. Game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth. Root.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
Joe on the trees.
Bear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would Buick put their cars next to the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right.
Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up.
Are we at a break yet? Yeah, so now I'm just doing stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Yeah. Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city.
I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.